And we are live. This is the Draft Season Podcast. We are here. Yesterday was a crazy sports day. It is your boy, Young Raz, coming live from where I often do, Queens, New York. I'm here with my player partner, Sean 5K. Talk to him.
You already know, man. We back in the building, Draft Season Podcast. In here, give you guys this fantasy football content that you guys do deserve. Shout out to everybody rocking with us on the social. Shout out to everybody on YouTube. Shout out to everybody in the Periscope. But yeah, man, Raz, this was a wild sports weekend. It's at this point, Saturday, Sunday, college football slate was insane. We just talked about that. That OU Texas game, all timer. That Arkansas Ole Miss game was absolutely ridiculous. I'm like, bro, how do people go through this sports experience thing with only one television right now? Like, I don't get it. Like, because it's like, bro, it be so many games on at one time. I'm trying to keep an eye on that once. I don't know how people only out here rocking with one television set right now, bro. Literally makes no sense in my head.
I mean, look, for me, someone who my TV setup isn't as luxurious as it needs to be for the business that we are in, but I have 3 laptops combined with my television, so it's a lot of miniature screens, a lot of different games on at one time, a lot of flip flop, a lot of handy remote work because I mean, you're gonna miss things as well, and in this business, we gotta rewind the film too. So I think it's about getting back on that film stuff as well. Like sometimes you just gotta watch these games over because it just
that first watch is never sufficient. People always love having it's one thing to watch something in the beginning, but you don't really got to understand it until you really watch it back. Even like watching football, we go back, crunch the game, but it's different. Sometimes even the broadcast angles, you're not really even getting the full story unless you got that all 22.
I mean, the all 22 is something that it's imperative when you want to add that credibility to the type of in-depth talk that people tend to have, especially on social media, where a lot of people are talking, but not many people know anything. And it's not to say that it is not to say that we're experts or anything like that. But if you don't have access to that type of film and you're watching what you're getting from the broadcast, like, you're missing a lot. And it's casual viewing, but I mean, not to be a snob or anything like that, but that's basically what a lot of people have at their disposal. And sometimes making these decisions and these hard line judgments on players and teams without that information, and even coaches for that part, putting that stuff in there and making these hard line decisions is sometimes just not fully informed.
And like I said, yeah, man, just getting back to insane sports weekend. You know what I'm saying? We also had like postseason baseball going on. I'm like gratified. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually relieved the Yankees got eliminated in the wild card game. Not to waste any more of my time, because postseason baseball is way too stressful. You know what I'm saying? That it takes years off your life expectancy at like every honestly pitch by pitch. You know what I'm saying? And we also do have to touch on this before we get out of here. I mean, before we start. But that Wilder Fury fight on Saturday.
Let's be real. Let's get it out the way right now. There's a video of him circulating, rapping to some Notorious B.I.G. saying the N-word. Yes, that is nigga. He is saying that word. There's not much any of us can do about it.
Who's
there's nothing we can do about it. It sounds like, I'm not saying he has the pass. I'm not saying none of that. We physically can do nothing about it. So until our best shot went down 3 times, bro. I mean, maybe you want to throw Anthony Joshua in there, but he might get washed up too. And at this point, how many brothers do we want to see fall at the hands of Tyson Fury? He got dynamite in his gloves, bro. So shout out to him. Shout out to him.
I'm not gonna hold you because, bro, this is one thing, man. I ain't gonna act like I'm the Doug type or anything, man. You got to know how to pick your fights when it comes to this fisticuffs thing. So you're not, make sure you barking up the right tree. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know who else wants that work.
That's not a tree to bark. There's no tree to bark there, bro. Like,
yeah, that's.
All dogs are being put down at that tree site, bro. Like, there's nothing you want to do.
Nah, not nah, not at all, man. But yeah, man, I don't know. That was a real good fight. You know what I'm saying? I saw some people throwing out the classic. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I got to watch it again before we get there. But like just for boxing and you know what I'm saying, the type of fights, like that was a moment for boxing. And they don't get too many of those nowadays. So, you know, that was a real dope event. Um he kind of slept walked through those last 4 or 5 rounds, but you know what I'm saying? He gave it his best shot. So but yeah, man. All right, so I think getting into this actual fantasy football stuff. This was an insane week. Lot of injuries going around. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those weeks where I was just sitting there on my couch watching these games, just wondering like how is football legal? You know what I'm saying? Like bodies was dropping. You know what I'm saying? Dudes was leaving the field. You know what I'm saying? That blue tent might as well be the club on the base, you know, the football field, because everybody trying to get that entry over there. But yeah, man, like I said, if your fantasy teams have, you know what I'm saying, escaped this week 5 unscathed from the serious, you know what I'm saying, major injuries, you know what I'm saying, consider yourself blessed. Because you know what I'm saying, that as we always do say in fantasy football, it is better, way better to be lucky than good. And you can never really, you know what I'm saying, you can't really project how this, you know what I'm saying, the injury bug or the injury cookie is going to crumble. So yeah, man, I mean, there's a couple things we could just start on. We're going to go around and just, you know, just touch on, you know what I'm saying, things we've learned, revelations over, you know, from this week and from these past couple weeks. But yeah, man, I guess yeah, let's start with you, Raz. What popped out to you? What did you learn this week, bro?
Hey man, them boys up in Western New York, them motherfuckers is real, man. Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, they are not playing with anyone. That is a very potent offense. Emmanuel Sanders, left for dead by many, super alive in this
Hey,
offense.
we had
Nope,
this conversation.
we did. We
Did
did
we
have this
not?
conversation. Yes, we did. I look.
I gotta,
I was
yeah.
I was middle ground on that. You know, I wasn't buying high, buying low, but you were very high on that Emmanuel Sanders pack, still being very potent. And I mean that is a feather in your hat because he looks great. I mean, Diggs is Diggs, and the tight end Dawson Knox out there is playing his mind, like he's playing out of control too. They don't have a running game. Like Zach Moss now is the number one. I mean, their running back is Josh Allen when they decide to use him.
Yo,
That was
what he
very.
did, what he did on that first drive, I think
It was real physical.
it was like I think it only been like 3 carries for like 45 yards in a tutty on that first drive. They came out there from that first drive, you know what I'm saying, just established
Yep.
what type of impact it was on for the day and what type of energy they was bringing. You know what I'm saying? KC started off with a really good drive, but they couldn't really keep up with Josh Allen. He also has some like absolutely like lasers, ridiculous throws the throw to Dawson Knox was insane. Also, shout out to our man's Matt. Matt will be joining us on a minute on here. He actually brought up the Dawson Knox pack when we was talking about it during our preview episode. I poo-pooed it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I fell for that Dawson Knox thing like twice already, so I was just like, cool. Like,
yeah, nah,
if you're investing in
he had
tight
a
end, you
lot
gotta
of
invest.
he had a lot of bad drops last year, but I think he really, you know what I'm saying, young players do improve. So, you know, you don't always want to, I mean, we'll get into this earlier, but you know what I'm saying, the whole Brenda's got a baby thing, you know what I'm saying, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You know what I'm saying? These are young players for a reason. If you know somebody's talented, it shouldn't shock you when they come out on the other side of that development path as a better player. Dawson Knox, we'll get into that with the quarterbacks a little later on, but you could definitely tell just his chemistry with Josh Allen is definitely up there. I think he scored I think he's on 5 touchdowns through 5 weeks, and I think he scored the last 4 weeks. So yeah, if you have Dawson Knox right now, you're sitting pretty. And especially with how tight end is looking right now, couple down weeks for Waller. Kittle is hurt. TJ Hawkinson hasn't really produced how people have expected him to produce. So
Mark
if you
Andrews is also holding me back in a league or two right now. I mean,
yeah,
he
so
like
if you got that Dawson Knox pack right now, you are sitting pretty with that. Real quick on the run game, however, yeah, man. I mean, I think it's shading towards Zach Moss as the lead back in this actual, you know what I'm saying, in this actual on the Bills. He outsnapped Devin Singletary 42-15 this week. And it seems like he's their closer. And you know what I'm saying, the way Buffalo actually, you know, just controls the game, and you know what I'm saying, their offense is phenomenal, just all around. So they have these long drives, and they're also able to get you on the quick strike, you know what I'm saying, 60-yard bombs that, like I said, that Josh Allen could just unwind at any moment, regardless of, you know, pressure in the pocket or anything. But yeah, I think Zach Moss has definitely looked to be the more involved in the passing game, and he's also seemed to be, you know what I'm saying, the 1B at the goal line to Josh Allen as well. So something to keep an eye on. I do think if you have Zach Moss, I think you kind of, especially with, you know what I'm saying, just the injuries all around fantasy right now. If you have if you have Zach Moss, you kind of got to start him going forward. Unless you just have you playing in the Shadow League, or you know what I'm saying. I would just say you have such depth that he's not even in your flex spot right now. So, man, I think he's looking well. That's been somebody else who I've been a fan of. But yeah, any other takeaways from that game? I mean, CEH also got hurt in that game, so I guess going forward, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what they do, how long. The injury looks pretty bad for CEH.
They said it was just a sprain, so he avoided major injury. So I think
that could still be a month, like, of him being out, even if he got away with a minor ACL, MCL sprain or whatever.
Yeah, I mean that game. I mean Buffalo's for real. They'll probably end up hosting the AFC Championship game at this rate, but I'm not. I think that defense of the Chiefs, man, like you're not going to win many games like that if you're not going to be able to score with some of these top teams like they used to. I mean, don't get me wrong, that offense is still potent, but these top teams like the Bills and I guess even the Ravens shown that they can stop the Ravens at some point. Like it's not like, you know, when you're kicking, well, not the Ravens, but the Chiefs, if you're kicking field goals and they're putting up touchdowns, like you're at a deficit. So, I mean, I think that's if the Chiefs are going to want to compete, they're going to have to start leaning a little bit more in that running game and start finishing drives, because they're not going to be able to beat these top teams in the AFC right now, which is very deep. You know, looking at, and then we can pivot, you know, if you want to start looking at some of the other top teams like the Chargers, like obviously teams like the Bills and teams like the Ravens, like they have defenses and shit. Even teams like the Browns, you know, that just played the Chargers, they lost the Chargers, but the Browns can control the game by running the rock, and they have a decent defense. So I mean, the Chiefs got an uphill battle right now.
Yeah, I mean, just yeah, the Chiefs definitely got some work to do. Yeah, I mean, I guess pivoting to that Chargers Browns game, which was just absolutely insane. What was the final score? 49-48, something crazy like that off the top, man. I can't remember. But yeah, like I said, Justin Herbert is the truth. You know what I'm saying? He is what they look like when we talking about these special prospects. And you know what I'm saying, it's tough for the other young quarterbacks in the league because they are not him. And you know what I'm saying, all of these things is like, I think people grade a lot of these young players on the scale. So like Justin Herbert, what he's doing right now is actually, it's just like basically it's making everybody else, all of the other young guys, just look, you know, absolutely like horrible in comparison. And I wouldn't even really blame it on them, because especially what they're doing, that team, that Chargers team is really dangerous. I would definitely say I'm also gonna say, even on the, you know what I'm saying, the Austin Eckler front, you know what I'm saying, I just think the way, and this is I think this just goes along to the offense, to where in the past he was definitely involved in the pass game, and that's not what I'm getting at right now.
Who you talking, Eckler?
Yeah, Eckler. Not,
but he's running hard though, right? Like he's running very hard right now.
Yeah, no, they are using him as a goal line threat, and I think that's one thing that I have my concern about. But even in the passing game, they're looking to get him, you know, in mismatches, you know, against linebackers, so he can take advantage of that speed. And yeah, I just think, you know what I'm saying, just the scheme and the offense, you know, headed by Herbert right now, everything's a go. If you have anything on that offense right now, even Keenan Allen, who, you know what I'm saying, if you looked up probably like midway through the third, it didn't look like he was having a great game. It kind of looked like, you know what I'm saying, he was like, you know, compared to what Eckler and Mike Williams, fucking wide receiver one Mike Williams right now was looking like. You know what I'm saying? But even Keenan Allen got him some. Justin Herbert made some ridiculous throws in that game, but I think the one to I think it was around 3 minutes left in the fourth, a toe tap by Keenan Allen on the run by Justin Herbert to Keenan Allen. That was just a magnificent throw. So yeah, if you have any Chargers, I would even be trying to buy high on some of these guys because I think it's just an engine that's going to keep going.
Yeah, man. Mike Williams.
We've all owned Mike Williams at some point.
I've owned
Mike Williams every single season he's been in the NFL.
I have no Mike Williams shares this year, and I'm sick. Like, this is the 1 year I'm like, all right, bro, I cannot fall for this shit. And he ran into the Will Fuller PED pack because he's healthy and he is making plays. Like, Keenan Allen's still very good, but Mike Williams looks like that guy where, Justin Herbert gets flushed out the pocket. And, every freaking quarterback has that. Yo, where's that guy? Fucking, he's down there somewhere. That's Mike Williams right now. Like, he's very, very open. And I think the way Eckler is producing and the way that he's, being utilized, and I think a little bit of it right now is just trying to keep him fresh for the long haul because, like, he's still putting up great fantasy numbers, by the way. Like, where I have like a lot of shares of Eckler this year, even though he burned me last year. Sometimes we as fantasy owners tend to shy away from players that might have burned us 1 year, but the talent is too high and the system fit is too great for Eckler to ignore where he's at. And I was getting him around 8 or 9 in most drafts, so couldn't pass there. He's playing well, and that defense healthy for once. And I think that's the difference. Like, this team has just not been healthy, and I think we just have to sit there and Justin Herbert is the real deal.
So I think
that's what it comes down to.
Real quick, just to pivot, real quick, I'm gonna ask you, because this is a question that many fantasy owners are going to have to, deal with this week and going forward. But let's just say on a scale of 1 to 10, if you were Odell Beckham Jr. owner, what would your level of concern be right now?
I'm at 9, bro. Like, my season's in peril with him in the flex. Like, there's things that I have other injuries on my team too. Like, I'm waiting on Gallup to come back, just looking for glimmers of hope. Because I used some capital, mid-round capital on Odell, and he's out here getting us 2 or 3 points a week. Like, that can't happen. Like, Kareem Hunt is like running back like number 5 as the number 2 running back in Cleveland, bro. So it's just like, where is the value on any of these pass catchers other than Donovan Peoples-Jones? Like, and that's somebody you could have had for free in some leagues.
Yeah, no, like I don't know what it is, and that's the funny thing about and you could, like, I think people are saying Baker's hurt and that might play a part into it. I don't know if that really is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I kind of, downplayed saying, Odell and Baker doesn't have great chemistry, but you know what I'm saying, something isn't clicking. Part of it is, and it's also to say, like, Odell is always he's still going to, gather the attention of opposing defenses. Defenses are still going into these games knowing what Odell Beckham is capable of, and especially when you have, the run game that they have, he's kind of like a luxury for this team, to where it's just like, I still think he's, that impact. We heavily use this term in basketball, but that gravity on the field, I think people are still I think defenses are still respecting Odell, and I think he's playing a part of opening the floor up or opening the field up, for guys like Peoples-Jones, David Njoku, talking about one of those, like, late post, breakout sleeper guys that what he did. I think what he had, like 7 for like 145 and a touchdown yesterday. Him. It kind of just seems like, and a lot of this stuff with the Browns as well. It's a lot of, it's a lot of stuff to where it's like they're getting a lot of screen passes, a lot of underneath stuff, to where it's just like, is it really in the offensive best, is it in the offensive best interest to really, funnel the ball to Odell? And it really hasn't been. My thing with the Browns, and this isn't really a fantasy issue, but it's just more of a Baker issue about, you know what I'm saying? Baker is up for a contract extension. And, you know what I'm saying? I don't think Baker is like a below average quarterback, but he's going to be eligible for a bag. And, you know what I'm saying? He's going to have the counting numbers to really get him in, you know what I'm saying? That, you know, get him in a, well, obviously that money that's going to change your life, but I don't know how much money I would be comfortable giving him. The funny thing about the NFL is, like, even going back and watching these games, it's like how many teams are like realistically like good? How many teams are like realistically like where you could go in it? And you know, these are functional offensive ecosystems that you could really rely on for certain levels. And that run game is really what the Browns game or that whole Browns team is based upon, the whole offensive and everything. So I don't know, that last drive with Baker is really what had me like scratching my head, because it's just like this. It was a 1-point game. They just got the ball back after after that hilarious play where John Johnson basically lifted Austin Eckler up into the end zone after they got him. You kind of got to need a ball. I've been in that situation in Madden. you can't run the dive on that. You kind of just got to do the QB sneak. I mean the QB kneel on that, just to make sure, because you don't want to score on that play. And if they ended up winning, but yeah, to go back to that drive, it was first.
I'm very happy by that touchdown, by the way.
Fancy rejoice.
It was.
He could have scored on the play.
He slid down before. He slid down before, and I'm like, no. And then they brought him into the end zone. The defense carried that nigga into the end zone the next play, and I'm just like, yo, appreciate y'all, bro.
Yeah, so like and like I said, so they came out with like, I think it was with like 2 minutes left, or like two and change, or like 2:10 left in the game. First play was a run. Second play was he was looking for Rashad Higgins. It looked like he kind of got his feet tangled, and then on 3rd and 10 they ran a halfback draw for Kareem Hunt, and I'm just like I can't. How can we take this team seriously if that's really like? And Stefanski is a pretty damn good play caller in his own right. You know what I'm saying? He knows what he's doing. The scheme they run is phenomenal. But yeah, just that's my question. What else did you learn from this weekend? We can take away from some of the injuries in a little bit, but what else stood out to you this week?
Tom Brady can still throw the fucking ball, bro. I mean, Tom Brady is just an ageless wonder. The Buccaneers, you know, AB being wide receiver 1, you know, 1A or 1B is something that I didn't see coming this year. I mean, I knew he still had it in him, but on a fantasy outlook, like if where AB was going and the way he's producing right now, you're very happy with that. But that running back room in Tampa Bay is something that if you are a part of, as a fantasy owner, you're panicking right now, because you probably got one of those guys in the RB dead zone, and you relying on them to be your running back 2 or flex, and you might be in trouble right now.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be tough. I think moving along a little bit real quick. You know what I'm saying? One thing I just want to talk about him. So we're gonna slide over to the New York Football Giants real quick. You know what I'm saying? Frustrating week. It's tough because, you know what I'm saying, Saquon has had it's been a couple years now of injuries, and you know what I'm saying, football is a punishing sport. I think when we talk about somebody like a Derrick Henry, and you know what I'm saying, the amount of, you know what I'm saying, punishment and just like 30 carries a game, you know what I'm saying, like people said he doesn't catch passes, fade Derrick Henry. I don't know how Derrick Henry isn't, you know what I'm saying, the pace is going right now. I don't know how he isn't going to be the number 1 like pick in drafts next year. Like, people might end up talking themselves out of it, but you got even like guys like Saquon, guys like, you know what I'm saying, McCaffrey, you know, like, and I love Saquon, I love McCaffrey, but like even those guys, running backs, they take a beating. So it's just like that's going to be the tough thing about it. It's going to be like, is it fair to say Saquon is injury prone? He got his ankle stepped on. Like, it's literally inadvertent. I don't think it was a dirty play. I don't think it was on purpose. It was just kind of one of those like horrible luck plays, particularly when it just seemed like Saquon was getting back into form. So like, it's just one of those real tough breaks that you can't really, you know, project. We got a question in the chat though, Raz. You could take that one.
I'm going to lose this week. Do I drop the Colts kicker and pick up Tyson Williams, sorry. That's running back on the Ravens, correct?
Yeah, if you're gonna lose this week,
I
you know what I'm saying, you
mean,
could pick up any kicker. I mean, I don't know. Is he active today? I don't know.
I
I know
mean,
he
he was
was
a healthy
inactive.
scratch last week. So
Yeah, I will have to check. They say he's expected to be active today. So
pick him up.
yeah.
Pick him up if you're gonna lose.
No, I think
Like,
that's a good pickup real quick. It's always you always want to be ahead of the curve. You never
you
know
got a
who
lot of running backs though, but
still you can never have too many running
it's a
backs.
kicker. You can figure out the kicker situation after. Yeah, just
Yeah,
pick him up.
you can also never have too many running backs. And you know what I'm saying, it's it's always, you know what I'm saying, valuable currency during the week. Somebody's gonna need a back somewhere, especially with these injuries. So you know what I'm saying, you don't need a kicker until Sunday. So I would be, you know what I'm saying, after basically waivers clear, so basically like Tuesday to Saturday, I'll be trying to, you know what I'm saying, see what upgrades you could get, and then pick your kicker up on Sunday morning. That's usually that's definitely a veteran's move right there, and definitely how staying ahead of the curve. Because yeah, who knows? Tyson Williams could blow. He could go for 150 tonight, and then he could end up being the number one waiver wire, or he could go towards the top of the waiver pickups for the week. So it's worst pickups you can have. If you're going to lose, there's no point. If you down like 40, 50 points, it's like there's no real point of actually, you know what I'm saying, just keeping that there. So yeah, real quick. So yeah, going back to Saquon, man. Yo, Kadarius Toney, bro. Woof. Man, and it's funny because people really downplayed the pick. People said, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't really a real need for the Giants. Yeah, your kick is not getting you 34 points, bro.
Nah, yeah, just pick him up, bro.
But yeah, Kadarius Toney, man, that kid is electric, and like, you know what I'm saying, like he reminds me of like he's like Chris Johnson, the running back as a receiver right now. What he's able to do in the open field, like it's like Kyler Murray-esque as well, where it's just like there's just, you don't even like, I mean, Raz, you're pretty fast in your own right. So let me not even go there. But like the type of stuff that he does, and particularly where it's just like it's literally just like blacktop football out there for him. How he evades, you know what I'm saying, defenders. How like there it was one of the plays. I think it was one of the plays where I think it was a post where he was guarded by Trayvon Diggs, and we all know how good Trayvon Diggs has been. But yeah, he put a move on Trayvon, and then the type of speed and quickness he had to where he kind of just ran through like 3 or 4 Cowboys defenders, and a normal receiver of like even a regular fast receiver, you know what I'm saying, probably get stopped like 10 yards before he actually got picked down. So that kid is special. We touched about this when we did the wide receiver film room, and you know his change of direction. You know what I'm saying, that's one we saw what he did last week against the Saints, and he kind of just built upon this performance next week. And I'm not gonna say he's Odell Beckham, but that skill that kid just brought to you, it's not far away. It's not far away, because especially what he could do after the catch, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I would definitely be, if he's still on your waiver wire, you gotta definitely do whatever to try and get him, you know what I'm saying.
Do I trade Aaron Jones and get Mixon, and that's AJ Brown?
That's not a bad deal. I would be buying low on AJ Brown right now. I do think, like, I mean, not to I don't think like Derrick Henry is Derrick Henry. He's gonna do what he does. But at a certain point, I think teams are going to they're gonna like they're gonna have to like do something.
They gotta try something.
And it's just I think it's gonna lead to a lot more play action passes. I like Mixon played yesterday. Obviously, and then we can talk about this in a second. I wanted to wait for a sec to get into that insane Bengals and Packers game. But yeah, Mixon did play yesterday, and you know what I'm saying, he looked really good on that the touchdown run. He showed you that quickness. So like another week of, you know what I'm saying, health and getting him back healthy. I don't think that's a bad trade. You know what I'm saying? I think what's called depending. Yeah, I think you gave us the rest of your roster. It's not a bad team, but yeah, you can't really in a 10-team league. I definitely think something like I mean, Aaron Jones is a damn stud, and even like he had he kind of had a disappointing first half, and I think he came out. It was either I know he busted a run. It was either in the beginning of the fourth quarter or early in the third. So yeah, would you make that trade, Raz?
Yeah, I'll probably make it. Let me hold on.
Yeah.
One more. Let me see. Stafford. I mean, you can survive. You can survive with Robinson and Mixon and Javante. Like you have options, bro. Let's see your wideouts. Tyreek Hill, Jefferson, DJ Moore.
Yeah, but you like you're not in a bad place. You know what I'm saying? You have a very, especially in a 10-team league, that's a very good team. Sometimes you just get unlucky, man.
You can't play all these players though. So that's that's the issue, right? Like you can't. There's no way you can play all these players.
Yeah, it's not a bad deal. I would probably lean towards a yes on that. But yeah, moving on to that game. Ja'Marr Chase. You know what I'm saying? I think Ja'Marr Chase is just
biggest he's a scam artist, is what he is.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, you think that was on purpose?
Yeah, that was on purpose.
I thank him then.
Because that's lunacy. Like he's a lunatic doing that, bro. Like he told us the ball was different. He couldn't see. Seemed to be not true.
I don't have my you see, but that's the funny thing about Ja'Marr Chase. I was never concerned about his hands. And like people can make the thing about the balls. Yeah, I kind of like when I saw that headline, you know what I'm saying? I kind of just like kept scrolling and said, nah. The only question we had about Ja'Marr Chase personally, or the only question I had about Ja'Marr Chase was, is he going to be able to create separation against NFL cornerbacks? He's not like a Kadarius Toney in terms of running like a 4.35 or one of these guys. He's fast. He's not just like, you know what I'm saying, one of these burners. But, you know what I'm saying, through 5 weeks, the question has been answered. NFL quarterbacks have been in hell trying to keep up with Ja'Marr Chase. And that question has been answered. Ja'Marr Chase is phenomenal. Joe Burrow, rough day for him. So he had some good, some bad. Remains to be seen. I never heard anybody getting a throat contusion until this Sunday. And then I forgot who else had a throat contusion, but there was a couple of them out there, which ended up being like it was just strange to see. But yeah, he had that tough run. He was trying to scramble on third down. And kind of just went, helmet into the turf. Never a good look. So yeah, you want to hopefully Joe Burrow is fine and he could get back. For the sake of all of my Ja'Marr Chase stock. And what else? Yeah, Packers, Devontae Adams is great. I mean, I don't know what else is there.
There's not much else to say on that.
But yeah, we'll get to that. What else you got? What did we learn this week, Raz?
Again, it's still very hard to be a rookie quarterback in this league, man. Trey Lance debuted. I mean, underwhelming by the critics. Every standard, probably. I mean, but it's like, what are we doing here, right? Like these are they're kids, right? I mean, like what did we expect is what I'm saying. Like, what do we expect from
when something that's just like things like this really stick out to you, to where it's just like we'll get to Bears Raiders in a moment, but like the speed of like we talk about it, but the speed of the game is just something that you like as evaluators when we're talking about these, you know what I'm saying? And this doesn't only go for quarterbacks, because this stood out to me about Justin Fields, who by all, you know what I'm saying, by every standard is a world-class athlete. And he gets on that NFL field and you see him getting chased down. Like Myles Garrett made him look average. You know what I'm saying? You see some of these like scramble plays where he's running in, like in college, that probably leads for probably like a 30-yard run, and it's only like you won't even get to the first down marker. Getting back to Trey Lance, I think what did he have? 16 rushes for 85 yards. Trey, my comp for Trey Lance coming out was Cap, and I saw it in the good and bad of Kaepernick. I think the arm's probably a little. I think he's a little more accurate than young Cap was. Just in terms of like how they run as athletes, and their body types, they're both, you know what I'm saying, real similar. But yeah, man, going back to what I said earlier, it's gonna take time for these young quarterbacks. Nothing adjusting to the speed of the game. you know what I'm saying, adjusting to Trey Lance. You could tell in his game, he was one read and go. And you know what I'm saying, some of that that's going to be, and this is kind of why when we talk about this, Raz, and it's just like we go back to the pre-draft, you know what I'm saying, some of the pre-draft analysis and takes on these quarterbacks. And this is why this shit bothered me when we got into, you know what I'm saying, particularly people were just like, oh, Justin Fields, he processes the game slow. If you crush the film, you can see that he processed the game sometimes not even like in like a half second slow, which like a half second in NFL times is the difference between, you know what I'm saying, a 60-yard bomb and a sack. But that goes for all of these quarterbacks. Every one of these young quarterbacks has a processing or has to adjust to that processing when they actually get into the league. So it's just like yeah, that's a universal for all these quarterbacks. So it's just like, you know, it's tough. Only the best of the best really are able to, you know what I'm saying, have that superlative, you know what I'm saying, processing speed. Somebody like you know what I'm saying, I think guys like, I think Kyler Murray, for who he is probably a little better than he gets credit for. But yeah, man, it's tough being a rookie quarterback, man.
I mean, and it's just like with all of these quarterbacks that, I mean, even, like you said, even with Justin Fields, who they got the win. But at times he also looked uncertain. You know, the game is moving fast out there, and for someone like Zach Wilson and my New York Football Jets, like, the game has not slowed down for him at all yet. And to be fair, the scheme isn't doing him any favors either. But he has to make some of these throws. Like, the throws are right there that he's just missing, and it's some of it is mechanics. And you know, at BYU, playing with talent that, you know, he was much better than. So a lot of his mechanics didn't have to come into play there because he was able just to beat them off the raw stuff. But, you know, you're in the big leagues now, and he's going to have to figure out some of these 3-step drop mechanics that he's missing because he's missing easy throws. But it's also on some of the coaching staff to try and figure out how to get him into a rhythm early.
Yeah. I think and like I said, even staying on there, shout out to Kyle Pitts. You know what I'm saying? It was nice to see him get that monkey off his back and really get his first breakout game.
Yeah.
Of
course.
What else? I think
against the football Jets that he had to do it. Like, there was no other team he could have did it against.
Yes, I think as far as let's get into some of these injuries, man. I did want to get back into, this was the Thursday night game. But yeah, man, that Russ injury was that shit looked nasty.
You know what fucking time it is now. You know what time it is. I mean, there's nothing to say. It's Gino Marino time. Gino Marino Smith. It is fucking time. It's fine. We've waited 10 years for this. And by we, I mean me. So we gonna see. we gonna see what's going on.
Nah, man. Yeah, like I said, we're gonna. It was just a completely rough week. Also, on the injury front, Juju Smith-Schuster. I think, was it collarbone? I think he just shoulder. But yeah, I think they said he's out for the season. So yeah, just a complete. You know what I'm saying, this was a nasty week for injuries. Getting into it, because I did want to going back to the Bears Raiders game real quick. I did want to touch on the Bears backfield real quick. This is something to monitor for waivers, I would say, for everybody out there. Khalil Herbert, man, that the run game did look pretty good. Raiders aren't the best run defense in the league. But Herbert and Damian Williams both did look pretty decent. 18 for 75, and 16 for 64, and a touchdown for Damian Williams. Khalil Herbert did get a couple actual goal line touches. But he looked really good. That's also somebody that I've been a fan of, just like film don't lie. That kid, like, he's a talent. He's also pretty damn good in the passing game. This probably isn't a league winner because David Montgomery is expected to be back in. I think his ETA on that injury was about a month. So, and I do think the Bears have a bye coming up recently off the top of my head. But yeah, that is something to keep an eye out. I did think he looked pretty good. One more thing. Touching on that Panthers Eagles game, which was kind of disgusting. What did you see from Darnold, bro? Because I know you had an eye on that game.
I had money on that game more than an eye. I mean, Darnold, he must have been wearing his Jets jersey under there somewhere, because apparently no Jet can beat the Eagles. But no, I mean he was due a bad game. As ridiculous as that sounds, he's been playing, at a high level. I didn't think it would implode like this, but he missed on some throws. Seemed a little bit rattled in the pocket, and he just didn't play well. I mean, that whole team was selling in the second half anyway. The defense did. I mean, they were missing some key pieces. Obviously, I think he looks a lot better, as most quarterbacks would, when McCaffrey gets back and some of his top defenders get back. I mean, I think Thompson missed on defense last game. They still have to get Newly and University of South Carolina great integrated into the system. That'll surely help. So I mean, the defense is going to play a lot better, and I think he'll play a lot better. So I mean, I'm not worried about the Panthers. I think they're going to be a team that could possibly. I mean, I don't. I mean, look. I mean, they can get a wild card. I think they're. You don't think they're a wild card team in the NFC?
They're probably being contention on there, but I wouldn't feel great about that. I think the defense is really good. I know one of my other takeaways from this game. I know we did talk about him previously. He didn't. But Chuba Hubbard, he didn't look horrible in this game. I think he actually, you know what I'm saying, he showed the speed. No, he should. I'm looking at his stats right now. 21 for 100. And I think that's kind of, considering the type of back he is, 24 for 101, and he also had 5 receptions for 33 yards. If you picked him up as your CMC insurance, you're not mad at that performance at all. And when I actually went and watched the game, you know what I'm saying, the thing is, he's a skinny ass back, so he's not the type of guy that you expect to really, you know what I'm saying, push piles and really, you know what I'm saying, get a lot of yards after contact. But the speed here is legit. For Chuba, CMC, you know what I'm saying, this is probably the last week for him as the lead back. My last thing on the Panthers, I would say, is it comes back to Christian McCaffrey, as we mentioned earlier. CMC is, I think he was doubtful for this week. I think they had conflicting reports about whether he would play or not during this game. My thing with McCaffrey is, if I was a McCaffrey owner, which I'm not, because I did not get the number 1 pick in any draft that I was in this year. But if I was a Christian McCaffrey owner, and this was a concern I had coming into last year, this was a current concern I had watching him previously the year before, with the just, insane workload. What did he have, like 300 touches in that 2019 season? I just don't think that work, you know what I'm saying? I think this also ties into the Browns backfield with Chubb and Hunt. Both of those guys are top 10 running backs right now. People said Chubb was a fade. The way running back is going right now, if you have a top 10 back on your team, I don't really think you're saying that, you're not looking at that like that was a horrible pick. If you have that top 10 back on your team, and you know what I'm saying, I just don't see how you can actually look at it that way. But going back into the Chubb Hunt thing and coming back to CMC, Chubb and Hunt keeps Chubb healthy. There's a certain point to where it's just like, football games are long. It's 60 minutes of hell. You don't necessarily just want to see them run your guy, you know what I'm saying, into the ground in the first half of the game. So it's like, you see coaches specifically, you know what I'm saying, use guys sporadically, and you want to make sure you want to have your guys there at the end of the game when it's winning time, especially when the game's in the line. So that's what Kareem Hunt does for Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb, you know what I'm saying, even as one of the biggest Nick Chubb stands you'll find anywhere. You know what I'm saying? I would love to see Nick Chubb get the Derrick Henry workload. I would love to see that. But if he got the Derrick Henry workload, that don't mean that he's going to make it towards, you know what I'm saying, championship week when it's time to win money. You know what I'm saying? So bringing that all back to Christian McCaffrey, like I said, I think, you know what I'm saying, Chuba having a role in that offense and taking, you know what I'm saying, 10 touches from CMC, 10 to 12 touches away from CMC, I think that's in CMC's best option. Best interest going forward, because, you know what I'm saying, I don't know if he could really keep up with that type of work. So that's just one thing to keep an eye out. Obviously, if you have Christian McCaffrey and anybody drops, or if you don't have Chuba Hubbard or anybody drops him going forward, I would definitely make sure to have him one of the most important handcuffs in fantasy right now.
I mean, I feel like we knew that kind of going into it too. I mean, we didn't expect I didn't think I expected CMC to go to full season with that workload that they were giving him. But at the number one pick, you got to take him. Like you gotta bet on him being healthy because the production that he gives you once he's in the game is gonna be ridiculous. But I do think they're gonna have to spell him a bit, and you might see Chuba be able to steal some of those carries. Going forward, especially if you're in a tight spot as running back, is very scarce.
Yeah, and I mean, the Eagles. Touching on the Eagles real quick. You know what I'm saying? It's real interesting. Jalen Hurts is a great fantasy quarterback. So if you got Jalen Hurts, I don't really think you're tripping. Two rushing touchdowns on the ground for him. Definitely on the top half of fantasy quarterback scored. I just got more of a beef with the offense. You know what I'm saying? I think the offense, for the type of offense they had, they should definitely be running more. You know what I'm saying? The first quarter of that game, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of, you know what I'm saying? There was a lot of screens, dump offs, short passes. But I definitely think, you know what I'm saying, that team should probably be a little more run heavy. They only rushed the ball 22 times, you know what I'm saying, which, you know what I'm saying, I kind of just think the way that team can win, I don't think, you know what I'm saying, the way they're actually running it, and they won the game. But Jalen Hurts, you know what I'm saying, he made some plays late in the game, but I wouldn't necessarily say he looked good. So that's just another thing to keep an eye out. You got any other things that any other takeaways from this week, Raz, or any other waiver wire pickups, most important waiver wire pickups of the week?
Most important waiver wire pickups. I mean, you can take a flyer on Josh Gordon if you're crazy, right?
No,
I mean,
I wouldn't recommend. That's a waste.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I say free
go.
for free. I said
Well,
I'm not paying.
Not on waiver. I wouldn't put a waiver claim. I wouldn't put Fab on him. If he's hanging out there in a deep league shit. If he's just hanging out there on the free agency wire, okay.
We playing some 16 team leagues. I mean, you gotta take some flyers somewhere. But I mean, in terms of just the waiver wire, I mean, if you streaming quarterbacks right now, I mean, playoff baseball is getting crazy.
Rafael Devers is a monster. He's a monster. Holy shit.
I mean, quarterback wise, you got to stream. Obviously, Booker on the Giants is somebody, you should if you have Saquon, obviously you gotta take a look at that. Somebody's gonna be a jerk and try and steal him there. But I mean, if AJ Dillon's still on the waiver wise, he shouldn't be. But look into that. Did we speak about Khalil Herbert?
Yeah, I mentioned him. He's definitely
he's definitely on the thing to look at for sure. Tony, if he's available, I mean, he might be suspended, but you might have to look into him there. I'm trying to think who else would be available. I mean, the leagues I playing are pretty deep. I mean, if Hunter Henry's still on the waiver wires, you might want to take a look at him. That Joe Newpack seems to not be what it was supposed to be. And Njoku is somebody if you're in dire need, maybe. It's the waivers are a scary place right now. I'll say that. Like I will say the waivers, if you're out here looking for that, it's scary. But I mean, obviously Herbert and Booker are probably two must adds right now if you're in running back hell, and you kind of have to go from there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I will eat a little bit of crow. Definitely somebody. If I saw somebody ask me a question about Myles Gaskin being available. So yeah, I think like he got 10 targets in that game. 10, he caught all 10.
He's definitely back.
I'm still and he got two touchdowns as well. So I do think running back is just so gross that you probably have him. He's probably getting stuck in there somewhere as as a flex. But yeah, I still think that offense is disgusting at the moment with Jacoby Brissett. So I don't really know what you could depend on there necessarily going forward. And I would definitely say another one I would definitely point out or just another thing another takeaway. It was good to see Alvin Kamara get involved in the passing game again. He got 8 targets this week. The passing volume kind of hasn't been there going forward. That was random, but another actual waiver wire pickup I would throw out there. Logan Thomas, who did get hurt for the football team for Washington last week. Ricky Seals-Jones, somebody who it's funny because you can always tell. Madden always lets you know who the nice tight ends are, so he's always somebody I would always pick up in my Madden franchises. You know what I'm saying? As that second tight end that's just fast because he got some speed on him. He had 82 snaps, ran 42 routes and got 9 targets in that game. So I think that's definitely somebody. Logan Thomas might be out for a minute, so I definitely think he looked to have he got 8 targets, 5 for 41. Also had another play that was another play that got taken away off a flag. So I would definitely say that's somebody if you're playing a deep league or you need a tight end streamer, definitely another guy to keep an eye out on the waiver wire.
Tight end is ugly per usual. Every year it's something that if you don't invest, I always make it a point to invest in tight end early because it's like streaming tight ends is something that can really, really, really upset you for the rest of the year because if you're out there just scrounging for 5 points on some of these offenses, it can make or break your fantasy team, I think.
You gotta pick the right guy. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Dalton Schultz. I just combined the two. He's also.
I mean, they both doing their thing.
No, they definitely are. You know what I'm saying? The tight end breakouts are there. You kind of just playing musical chairs to depend if you're gonna hit on the right breakouts. But early, like I said, early round tight end. Waller's also had a couple down weeks in a row. I'd probably be if the Waller owner in your league is getting a little shaky. You know what I'm saying? I would send a trade offer on that this week. But yeah, man, I think that's pretty much everything I had. Raz, you got anything else that you wanted to hit on, or anything else you wanted to get to?
No, I mean, we'll just say this: the sad state of affairs in New York football right now. I know you have to root against the Bears. Which I know you don't want to root against Fields, but you got to root against the Bears for that pick.
I'll take that pick. Yeah. We might end up in the damn top 10 anyway. So I mean,
shit. That's how the Jets looking right now.
Pick will be nice wherever it is. It's gonna be nice wherever it is.
And then Jets fans again stuck with the peril of rooting for Geno Smith and Jamal Adams to lose games, so that pick is good as well. So I mean, we'll see what happens, bro. I mean, it's still early. It is week 5. I think we got a lot of good football ahead of us and a lot of bad football ahead of us. But fantasy-wise, it's time. If you're panicking, it's time. Pull the trigger on whatever you can do to save your season, especially in a redraft league because it's now or never. The writing might be on the wall for you in a dynasty league, so maybe start acquiring some picks if need be.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those weeks, and it's just like, especially like if you're in redraft, you know what I'm saying, and you're looking at, 1-4, you know what I'm saying, or 2-3 right now, you know what I'm saying, it's a very important fissure, you know what I'm saying, just for your team. So, you know what I'm saying, I think this waiver wire is actually going to be actually kind of an important one for a lot of the teams out there. So definitely something to keep an eye out. But yeah, man, this has been the Draft Season Podcast. Appreciate everybody for rocking with us and showing love. We are coming back. Very, very busy week. You know what I'm saying? This shit does not stop at all. So we will be coming back for you guys. We're gonna have the part 2 of our over/under preview for you guys, that Western Conference. So we did save the big boys for last this time. So we definitely gonna be getting into, you know what I'm saying, the real the real teams in the NBA and the best teams in the conference. So you guys can look out for that second episode on that back-to-back. But yeah, man, yo, Raz, this has been a good episode, bro. Take us out of here, man.
This is the Draft Season Podcast. Like Sean said, we'll be back real soon. Holla at us, please. Oh my God, we forgot to do our goddamn read. We're awful people. Rise Network. We please don't sue us for that. But yeah, this has been the Draft Season Podcast. We are signing off.